Hi guys, welcome to Learn with W3Schools. My name is Dr. Zeeshan and this is Java Programming for Beginners using W3Schools website as a reference, complete series. We have talked about a lot in previous days, and today we're going to delve into while loop. Today we're going to see what exactly is while loop and what are the functions of loops, how and why we use them, and what's the syntax and its purpose are with some examples as well. So if you're here, haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Your subscriptions means a lot. It allows us to keep making more videos. So let me know in the comments what topics you're working on, how much course you have covered, any problem difficulty you are having. Let me know so I can revisit and do another video trying to help you out. Okay, so without further ado, let's understand what Java while loops are and how we use them. Now that should solve. Complete this. Let's talk something about loops now. Okay guys, so now let's just begin with Java while loops. Let's talk more about Java while loops. Now what do we mean by while, or again in simple terms, loops? Loops basically are a way or type of statements that allows us to repeat a specific statements again and again and again and again. That's why evidently they are called loops. So loops basically can execute a block of code as long as a specified condition is reached. So it's going to repeat certain statements again and again and again until a specific condition is satisfied. So again here we will be using the conditional operators and logical operators, and we again will be requiring that Boolean value. So that's why see the Boolean still is going to be used. Sometimes when we start learning Boolean, we wonder, hey, what's the purpose of just true and false? But then you realize that, hey, there are many things inside your coding that are specifically dependent on this data type. And then the memory needs to hold a value and it needs to know what type of value I'm holding. And that's basically Boolean. So here again, we will be using Boolean values. So loops are handy because they again save time, reduce errors. Well, that's a very, what do I say, controversial statement. They don't reduce errors. They can generate gigantic errors if you have not done it properly. But anyway, and then they make code more readable. Well, again, yeah, so if you have done it right. Anyway, I'm talking more about exactly what loops are, how they work. So for example, we start with something called a while loop. There are three typical standard type of loops we call while loop. Then we have something called do while loop, and then we have a for loop. Okay, so technically all three do the same thing. They repeat the statements. It's just the difference of syntax. It's how we write each of these statements differ, and the while loop has one short trick up its sleeves, and I'm going to talk about that when we reach there. So let's start with the while loop. Now, while loop loops through a block of code until a specific Boolean condition is satisfied and we get an answer false. Okay, unlike if and else statements, what happens is that if the condition is true, the if block executes. If the condition is block false, if doesn't gets executed. However, when we talk about while, again the same logic. If the condition is true, the block of code will execute and then repeat itself, and the condition is again reevaluated. If again the condition is true, again the block is executed and the control goes back to the statement of condition. And then again the condition is true. So, and again the block will execute. So this is what the repeating does. This is why we use a while. So when you use a while, we are telling our system, hey, this is the looping statement. It's supposed to repeat itself. So until the condition becomes false, the statement within these blocks will continuously be repeating. And the way it works is it checks the condition. If it's true, block is executed, then control goes back to the condition. If the condition is again true, the block of code is executed, and then again the condition is evaluated. Now if it becomes false, the control comes out of the block. Okay, so this is how it works. So let me show you a typical standard syntax, how we define a while statement. So we start with something called initialization. Now do keep this thing in mind because we're going to talk about this again and again within loops and why it's so important. So and we start with initializing a variable, and then we set variable I. So this value is less than 5. So we set a condition, hey, is the value of I less than 5? Because it's starting with 0. She said, yeah, it's true. Because this condition becomes true, now system.out.println and print the value of I, which is again 0. Then it will go and we do the increment. Why we did the increment here? Again, increment is like adding one value to the current value of I. So it will say, hey, I's current value is 0. Add 1 to it and then now update the new value of I. So I becomes 1. Now because the block comes here and then it will again go back to the here. Because now we have incremented the value of y, now it's going to evaluate I once more time. And says, hey, I now is 1. Is the value of I still less than 5? The condition becomes true. Yeah, it's 1. 1 is less than 5. Because it's true, again the block will execute system.out.println and print the new value of I, which is 1. Again going back here and incrementing. So it will again increment this value. Now it becomes 2 because previously was 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So now new value of I becomes 2. Now it will again go back here. Again, the control will go back here. And so it will start repeating and repeating. And that's why we say it's a looping statement. They continuously loop and loop and loop, and it will start to print the values of 5 here. So for example, if I set it to 15, run the code, what happens now is the code will run with 15 times. Okay, because now we have set the last value to 15. Now see, just by changing one variable value, I have executed the same statement 15 times. And here I've only printed it one time. That's the major advantage of loop. At certain times, there are certain pieces of code that are repeating itself or need to repeat itself to reevaluate certain parameters. And as long as the parameters are true, they're supposed to re-execute. That's where looping comes into play, and they allows us to save a huge amount of time. If I need to print these statements manually, I would have to write 15 times system.out.println. But by using just these 3 lines, in fact, technically this also belongs to this one. So writing these 4 lines, I'm able to print the 15 lines. But if I can say, for example, 150, now again the same value. So just changing this condition, I change the entire loop. Capish? That's how basically the looping statement works. So integer, now I talked about this is important. Why? Every looping statement needs a variable, or the way we write the condition is that we need a variable to initialize, and we do it before the while loop. Keep the eye on this. We will be talking more about this in for, because in for loop, this is actually part of a loop. In while loop, we write outside the loop, we initialize a variable, we write a condition, and then we do the increment. Okay, these are 3 part of loops that exist in all 3 loops: initialization, condition, and an increment. Why there's an increment? Because we need to ensure that we change the value of I. If you don't do the increment here, okay, and if I run the code, what will happen now is that I value is 0, I is less than 150, it prints the value. Capish? Then there's no increment. Then a condition goes back here. It says I value, hey, I is still 0 because I have not changed the value of I here. So it's going to say I less than 50. It said, yeah, it's less than 50. It's going to print I. Go back. I less than 0. True. 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 Every time it checks, it executes. And now if you check, see this? This is an infinite loop. That's why we say it's not always true that it removes errors. Sometimes it can generate very, very humongous errors, because now my program is generating infinite loops, because while loop will keep on executing until a specific condition is satisfied. Until that happens, it will just repeat itself. And if the I value does not change, or the condition here does not change, the loop will be an infinite loop. This is exactly same as writing true here. Again, it requires Boolean value. So if I write true here, Boolean value, this will also work. But now it means every time the condition is there, it says true, execute, true, execute, true, execute. And this is what becomes an infinite, what we call loop of death, which basically means it just runs for forever. So this is the worst case scenario. That's why we need to be very careful, because your program can just keep on running and crash your systems. So I is there and I needs to change. That's why we do the increment in the middle of the this while loop inside the block, to ensure that at some point we change this value of I, and at some point after certain executions, this condition does become false. Okay, so that we can exit the loop. So in this case, now value will go to 149 less than, and once the condition become false, the loop starts. Now it's not an infinite loop. Okay, that's why we do the initialization before the while loop. During the while loop, we check the condition, execute the statements, do the increment, and then come back here. Understand? So this is how basically the looping statement works. So it just keeps on executing these things. So this is what a while loop does. Now, if I come back to the do while loop, what do while will do? Exactly the same thing. It's a looping statement. However, the syntax is quite different. It starts with the word do, okay, and while at the end. So it uses an additional word called do, block start, block close, and now you would wonder, hey, why the block is before the while? That's the syntax, right? So that's why they do it. And that has a very good reason as well. Let me talk about that in a moment. So we write a while, and then there's a semicolon here. Note, when we write the while loop, there is no semicolon, it's a syntax, because again, there's a block here. And once we write a block, we don't need a semicolon. But in do while, after the while, we have a semicolon. So do keep a very good eye on that. Now, how does the do while work? Exactly the same way. So we write an initialize statement before the do. We do our system.out.println I. and then we do the increment. So everything is same except we have added this new word do, block start, block close, and we write the while statement after the block with the ending with a semicolon. Same condition, same program. Now you might wonder, hey, what the hell is the difference? Then why we need to use do while? There's a small difference. Because we have done the initialization first, well, that doesn't really matter, but because we have written the do and the block of code first, this program will at least execute one time before we satisfy the conditions. So for example, if I say this thing, I is equals to 0, system.out.println I, and then we can say I is less than 0. Okay, technically this should be false, right? But if I run this code, what will happen? That it should execute the line at least one time. If I come back here and I do the same on my previous while code and run the code, now we say I is equals to 0, I is less than 0. This condition becomes false. Because this becomes false, it will come out of here and no statement is executed. The loop will not execute anything and we should not get any output. Okay, so see, there's no output here because the condition became false, and because the condition is false, the loop will exit. However, the do while, and the reason behind it, that at certain rare situations you would come across that you want the loop to execute at least one time before we exit it and evaluate the condition. So in this case, the order is reversed. The do will ensure that you execute the code, do the increment, and then evaluate the condition. So the condition is actually evaluated last, allowing it to execute this block of code. So even though if you write, for example, false here, this is equivalent to false. So if I write false here, this will, if I run it, still it will execute one time because the statement has been written first. So statement has been written first, the value of I is still being printed. Okay, so that's the major difference between while and do while. That the statements we write inside the do, even though the while loop has a false in it, they still get to execute one time. And this scenario, the situations can come across various different times where we want our system to at least run one time before we ask a user for a value or certain condition is met. At least we have executed it one time, ensuring that the system is smooth. Okay, so at that point we require our do while loop to be there, and that's why the purpose has been made. We can configure it to run exactly same as while, usually that's the case, but ensuring and knowing that, hey, the do while statements, even the condition is false, it will still execute one time. So the one time it will execute and then it will do its job, and then it will go and evaluate, and statement is done if it's true, otherwise it just goes back. Okay, so that's what basically a do while statement does. So now let's check out a few real world examples of this. Okay, to demonstrate a practical example of a while loop, we have created a simple countdown program. So for example, this says that we have integer countdown is equals to 3. While the countdown is greater than 0, system.out.println countdown, and then countdown minus minus, and happy new year. Okay, well, it's not a good example of countdown. It's just, let's say 3 to 1 now. Typically we need a timer here if I were to put it so that it says 3, then 2, then 1, then happy new year. We might create such program later on with for loops, or for more examples of that. But anyway, so now you can see this, that you can use a loop to print order numbers in the reverse order as well as in a forward order. So we created an integer variable, countdown is greater than 0. As long as the value of countdown is greater than 0, condition becomes true because we've started with 3. We're checking, hey, is it still bigger than 0? Say yep. Go and print system.out the value of countdown, and then do the decrement. Again, minus minus means take the current value of countdown, subtract 1, and then whatever is the reply, assign it back to countdown. So update the value of countdown after minusing. Now again check the condition, still greater than 0, again print, do one more minus, check the condition, still greater than 0, do the countdown, print the countdown, and then do the subtraction. Now check, hey, false, come back, happy new year, voila. That's how basically system works. So to demonstrate a practical example of a while loop combined with an if-else statement, let's do a game of Yahtzee. Yay! So now we have a game of Yahtzee. I have no idea what the Yahtzee is. So let's try it out. Print Yahtzee if the dice number is 6. Okie dokie. So now what we're doing now is we say, hey, integer dice is equals to 1. Okie dokie. So we have a variable called 1. Hey, still we haven't used the input. So hopefully in next example, I will try to of within for, and I have some practical tasks for the for as well, for if else. We will try to show you two ways of how we take input from the keyboard in using this. But actually, this system does not allow you to do that, the W3 schools. So we'll be switching to VS Code and try to take input using our own custom code. Back to this. So Yahtzee, integer dice is equals to 1. We say dice less than equals to 6. So as long as the value of dice is less than and equal to 6, execute the block of code. So we say, okay. So that's why I say when I write the code, typically I would say, if because there are so many blocks, I say end of while. Okay, so that way I know this is end of while. Sometimes I put, hey, this is end of main in my typical large programs. This allows me to understand that, hey, where each of these ending brackets go to, right? So this is end of while. So dice plus 1 is outside the while block for some reason. No, it's inside the while. So it's outside the if block. Okay, so here's the if block for me. So we say if dice value is less than 6, if the value of dice is less than 6, system.out.println no Yahtzee, else system.out.println Yahtzee. Program. Dice is equals to dice plus 1. So increment the value of dice. Again, we can simply do dice plus plus here as well. This is again same thing as, that's why we say dice plus plus should also work fine if you want to do that. But this is exactly what dice plus plus is doing. Take the current value of dice, add 1, and then assign the answer back to dice, and then do the loop. And now you see that it will start with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finally, it reaches 6, and we say, yes, Yahtzee. I have no idea. Anyway, so these are like two stupid programs that they have provided W3 schools. I think they could have done a better job with the tasks, but anyway. So this is end of while loop. Now let's talk more about for loop. All right, so today's session was on while loop. I hope you understand and now understand how things are working inside Java programming. We have talked about many things in previous sessions, including today we talked about while loop. So this should clarify many concepts of programming, looping statements and everything. Okay, so tomorrow we're now going to delve more into the for loop structure, how we use for loop, which again is very important and most commonly used type of loop in Java programming. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon so you receive the video's notification when I upload it tomorrow. Don't forget to watch that as well, all right? This concludes today's session. My name is Dr. Zeeshan, signing off.